Now then, welcome back to another episode on the Hypermine server. Hi there, how you doing? I am starting this episode again. Yes, again, this episode should really have gone out on Wednesday. And it kind of started like this. I was grabbing iron. And I was crafting the iron into blocks. And spent many hours doing this, taking the iron and crafting it into blocks. And then I was building some stuff, and it was all pretty cool, and it was enough to make an episode. I maybe spent 6 hours building and sorting and coming backwards or coming to and from here to be able to get some more iron blocks for the project of the TV studio, and so on and so on and so on. And I don't know how, but 6 hours of recording, half an hour worth of footage, all sitting there in my filing system on my desktop. And then when I came to edit it, after recording some Hypermine Infinity Evolved, I don't know what happened to it. I think I was cleaning folders out to make space for other things, and I ended up deleting it. And then I ended up emptying the trash can on my desktop, just almost like in habit, and lost everything that I'd done. Well, not lost what I'd done, because obviously the evidence is still here on the server. I'm still back here doing some more crafting of iron blocks to start the episode off, just to show you just how tedious it is. Even though there's all the iron in the world, building out of it means that you've got to build the iron blocks. And I pretty much emptied all of the chests here a few times. Now I'm not gonna sit through and do it all right now, but these chests empty fairly quickly. And I would at least get through this wall and some of that wall before leaving back home again. Or back to the project again. Heading back over to the TV studios, where I've been spending hours working. Hours and hours and hours. And if I was a live streamer like Lapis, Lapis built this during live streams, I should think. So, well, I didn't see the videos of it all, but all of this is constantly being built, all out of iron blocks, yeah. And all the many other projects that she does. They'll have a coffee morning Twitch stream, get loads done. Well, I was having one of those days. I was having a day when I may as well have been streaming, because it would have probably been more entertaining for me having people to chat to while I was doing it all. And well, I got a lot done. I had a crazy idea. Which you'll see very soon. And I started putting that into practice. And then I recorded, this is what I'm going to do, as I do. And then I went away and I did it for a bit. And I looked after the kids, and I made their evening meal, and they all got in from school and all that kind of stuff. And while I was doing the build, they were giving me some inspiration and ideas. And you can just about see it on the top of the tower there. Just coming in, a great big helicopter bus. Oh. I think that Endermite just got trapped in a block. Thank you very much. And then after another trip down to get some more iron, I came back this way, and Lapis had been decorating the Christmas tree. And she was online. There's no one online right now, but Lapis was on, and she had been doing all this and making it all exciting. And I said about how I'm going to put presents down here, probably in the form of a chest with somebody's name on and that kind of stuff. And oh, I was thrilled with my progress, and I had had hours, and it had been a marvelous afternoon, early evening of entertaining myself with vanilla Minecraft, building to my heart's content, being involved in the community, coming on and off the server, and being involved in my own family, and everything was well. And some way, somehow, I managed to delete all the footage. When I went to edit it for Wednesday, all the footage was gone. And I face-palmed. So hard. Oh, you should have seen it. I was like, oh, all the hard work. I built this up during it as well, and then we'd finished off up there, which I'm going to go and show you in just a moment. I'm going to put all these blocks back there, though, because this is all now for this tower, because this tower is built on the outside. Still got to do the inside, but the outside's built. And we can also sleep up there as well. Yeah, all the way through, I was talking about doing a staircase all the way up here. I was thinking of doing an internal stairwell. I haven't decided what blocks to build it out of yet, though. What stair block? It's got to be stairs, I think, or slabs, potentially. I could use carpet. Carpets? No, that's not going to work, is it? No, it's going to be something cool and awesome, and that's what I'm going to do very, very soon. But not today, not this episode. As I say, I've already recorded this episode, as it were, and this episode is kind of a few days late. Thank you very much, I'm sorry, but yeah, I've just been feeling a bit off just lately. But I did enjoy making this. The Hypermine TV Studios airborne bus. And when I first had the idea, I was introducing it during the episode as like, I want to put a helicopter up here somewhere. And I'll probably put a great big H on the floor and all that kind of stuff. And I'll make a helicopter. And I'm going to go and find some pictures of helicopters and do a bit of research and try and build it to kind of scale an example. And make it so it's actually functioning inside. And then we ended up putting the tarmacking down, almost like you park the bus, as in you fly it in. I decided not to do it that side of the roof because there's too many high buildings, whereas over on this side there would be plenty of access for a helicopter coming in from this low-lying areas and landing here. I know vertical takeoff and all that kind of stuff, but I just thought it would make more sense to have it on this side of the building. And also, as you saw from down that away, we can see the helicopter up on the roof from down there. I kind of followed the paint job, the markings as well, as best as I could. But this is Minecraft, and it's an interpretation of what is real in block form. And this is the best I could come up with, I think. I think it's the best I can come up with. Anyway, Hypermine TV crew thing going on here. We've got a cockpit, and yeah, well, I'll show you the inside. It's an actual, you can get inside it, and that was part of it, was getting it to the scale so you can actually feel like you were walking around inside it properly. Even got the little tail bit sorted out. I was so tempted to do this kind of curve at the front as well, but the picture of the helicopter that I was looking at was a kind of a bus, an Airbus, as it were, and it had a very flat front end, well, sort of circular, rounded, rather than cone-shaped rounded, if you know what I mean. So it ended up being looking like this, and I think it's kind of, yeah, it's about as good as I'm going to get. Inside, we have space for 6 luxury passengers with the leather seats and all that. I did try thinking about putting some little pictures on the walls and stuff, but when I started putting stuff up on the walls, it all just started becoming cluttered and overdone. And I had the feeling that these things were a little bit more clean cut and just luxurious and smooth and no distractions around the place. Like, you decorate it how you want. And this is a practical helicopter for the crew. At the back, we've got a little washroom, crew quarters, with a little toilet and sink, and another little sink with a wash mirror and a little bit of storage at the back, of course, and stuff like that. And then at the front, which I'm very pleased with how the front came out, the cockpit. And yeah, we've got buttons to get you in and out. And also a lever for while I'm actually working on the place. I just had buttons for getting in and out as like the security measures, because you can't get through them. There you go. But while I was working here, I put a lever on it. And then you've got like the seats with the ability to see down through the floor, which I thought was fairly needed, but actually you can't see through the floor when it actually comes into it. You've got the, you can see above you, you can see almost 180 degrees all in front of you. And yeah, that's how helicopters are made these days. And little pulleys on the side here, little switches above, and little like joysticks for flying, co-pilot and pilot and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was kind of pretty cool. I like it. And we've got the door, of course, in and out. The rotor blades, well, I finished off the rotor blades during the episode that's in the bin. Building right out over the edge there was very, very scary and very, very daunting. This one not so much because I didn't have so far to fall, but the ones right over the edge there, wow, what a drop. What vertigo. And then I finished off the episode by building all of this section and deciding on the levels and all that kind of stuff. I wanted stairs coming down from the helicopter and doors going into the room area. And I also wanted this built-up kind of garden area. I've still got to do a little bit of hidden lighting and stuff to finish the job up here and make it look like a posh roof garden for the helicopter to land on for everybody. And then inside, I'd only really worked out the doors that go in and out, just to add a little bit of detail, because it was all looking very, very clinical and bland and white in here because of all the iron blocks that have been used. So many iron blocks being used all the way around it. We've got stairwells all the way through, of course. And yeah, I'm still debating on building the stairs up and around here. Maybe we can get something started on that today instead. I haven't got a lot of time though, because I'm already behind on my schedule because I've not been feeling great. Just overtired really, just playing so much. And trying to record it all and get it all out on time and all that kind of stuff. The consistency just dropped for a few days. And I kind of felt it all caught up with me. And I've taken like a few hours just to rest and not think about it. And now here I am. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was spending 6 hours working on that and summing it up in these last 10 minutes that I've spent in this episode so far. Because I trashed the whole 30-minute episode, which means I've got to record it all over again. Yes, yeah, record it all over again. That was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. But I am back after just a day or so of rest and recuperation, as it were. Almost forced into it, really, but it gave me an excuse. Gotta think what to build this out of. I got plenty of stone, so maybe a stone staircase. Or plenty of wood, so maybe a dark oak luxurious staircase surrounded in iron blocks and the like. Maybe anvils up the sides. I gotta think about these kind of things. I got to think about these kind of things because I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing with this, because I planned out so much. So much of previous episodes get planned out, and then all of a sudden, kaboom, something goes wrong, and you're like, what do I do instead? How am I going to do it now? Now, I think stairs may be too tight going up here. I think they may be too tight going up here, but I think I could possibly do a crossover. Also, those sections there where it's under floor need blocking off. Now, I could do the Woollevator thing, because in the original build, Wooly has got a Woollevator kind of floor designator thing going on over here. And there's a lot more redstone to it than the original Woollevator. A lot more, and he's got floor buttons for different floors and stuff. Unfortunately, the cart itself is disappeared from the top there, so I have to go all the way up the top and replace it to be able to see how it works. But it does kind of like block off the whole tower. It's like the whole tower is built around a lift, an elevator. And that shouldn't be right, should it? Surely the elevator is put in to the property after you've built it and you put it like over to one side or something. But in that case, the Woolly Tower has a Woollevator of the most supreme awesomeness going up through all the floors. Now, I've got a rough idea of where the glowstone's supposed to be here, and I've trimmed all these off for glowstone as well. So I'm thinking about putting the stairwell starting maybe here. maybe going 3 wide, so in places I can go 2 wide, and then maybe on the other side doing a 3 wide as well. So this ends up being a stairwell. It's kind of already not looking like I'm going to be able to do it. Maybe 2 is enough. Got to give it some careful consideration here. Yeah, 2 with blocks either side may work. Let's get a stack or 2 of those on the bar. We can get these off the bar now. I'm not doing the iron blocks anymore. Okay, so beginning any project, any process, you've got to place the first blocks and figure out where you're going to go from there. See whether it's going to look right. And I've also got to curve it round. So I've got to consider that this is as far as we can take things. And try and figure out a layout for the outside edge first, I think. Oh, I just did it again. Just fell off again. Right, so let's try doing a mapping out kind of affair here. So then we'd come in. We wouldn't go up though, would we? But we would come in and then go up. And then we can go up 1 more there. And then we'd come in and then we'll go up. And then we're basically there, aren't we? And so we come across another 1 and in and up. And we're not really very close to being at the top. We are kind of going to wind it around. So then we would come across this way a little bit more. That's the awkward stage then, isn't it? Let's put a light down. Also, doing the hidden lighting is going to be very problematic as well. So let's just put the first couple in. Probably rip the whole thing apart in disgust at a later date. But for right now, this is going to be where we start off. A curved stairwell. And then we bump straight into that. So that means I should really be bringing it this way at this stage, ready for this section. And how does that even look? It probably looks like a bag of rubbish. It's not even got the curve started, has it? It's not even got a curve on it. It's going to be a difficult shape to curve up and out and over and around. And especially with that side coming in at the same time, almost at the same angle, going up and around. I'm going to have to consider this a lot more before I do it. Let's just rip all that down and start again. That is not going to work, that's for sure. The curve on it isn't enough. It's not turning enough. It's not doing enough for me to make it like, yeah, I can go with that. I can't even like just say, oh, I'll do it like that for now and then tweak it later, because it's either the whole thing looks wrong or the whole thing looks wrong, doesn't it? Or the whole thing looks right, should I say. Everything's going to look wrong today because I'm in one of their moods, I think. But the whole idea is to have a very ornate staircase going up. But if we have an ornate staircase going up, then, well, how do I bend it? How do I bend it around this shape? How do I make it curve? I don't think I've ever done a perfectly curved staircase before. And it's rather perturbing of it. Maybe if I started kind of here and went up and around that way, then you walk into the stairwell and then start your climb up, and maybe the stairs themselves are going to be the problem. Maybe the stairs themselves are the problem. Maybe it needs to be half slabs. Let's see what we can do with half slabs. I've still got a bit of stone on me, haven't I? Yes, I have. Let's make a ton of these. I've got other supplies elsewhere, but right now this is my supply range. I'd also fancied maybe using glass. Maybe the dark glass as well. But I'll consider changing blocks around after I've actually got a staircase in place. So, another way of doing things. We could have it, so I would still want the glowstone circle, but when you come into it, let's have a few like half slabs so nothing can spawn in the middle there, right? So it starts off even, and then we'll have, and well, we could go blocks and then step up from the blocks, like this, because I think these will turn easier than the stairs would. Well, actually, let's start by constantly changing it round a bit. So we'll come one this way, so everything sort of swerves up and around like that. It doesn't feel like it curves fast enough though. That's the problem there. Okay, and then let's just do a little section and see what we are thinking about it once we've done. Okay, so now we could have this coming out slightly like this, and then maybe coming up one here. So then it comes out this way. Right. So maybe this comes out a little bit more as well, and this comes out a little bit more. It's kind of sloping up, kind of filling these spaces, and then you end up on this platform up here. It feels a little bit nicer. Once it's all the way wrapped around, it might be okay, but there's no real theme to it, is there? It's just a straight run up. And that may cause issues with the way people like to view things. And then I've got to copy it on the other side as well. And I'm constantly up and down, jumping around, trying to get this working. So if I did that the first time round, 3, 4, 4, 2, and then up, then it'd be a 3, which would be a 4. So I'll put another one on there, and then have this one slightly off-centered, like this, with a couple on the back maybe. This is still progress at least. And then we kind of jumped up again that way. So we've got, it comes up, it goes like this, and then we've got a V shape there. So it comes up, it goes like this, and then we've got a V shape here. Just hum to myself while I'm here. Go. Maybe with the right decor around the outside of it, maybe that could work. And that's a constant turning bend that's nice and easy to flow up. I don't know how I'm going to do the other side into it though, because they can't both hit, can they? So that one's going to end up coming to the same spot, I should think. And then what? So I can't go the opposite direction, so I can't use this one here. I'm going to have to take this one off completely. So that's not a thing. So the staircase would just be one side winding all the way up and around. I can kind of dig it though. So let's do another couple of layers just to see. How far out am I from here? Not far out, so that's okay. That gives me space to put something that looks like it's holding the stairs up. And then a 4. Is it in line 4? Yeah, it's in line 4. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we start straight on with this again. Okay, a repeating pattern is something I can deal with, so long as it flows around the stairwell and it looks kind of floaty similar at the end. Should be okay with it. And how far away am I coming from this wall now? Not too far, which is good. And this comes up here, and then it would be into another set of blocks. But is that a sharp enough bend? Because I've got 2 blocks this side here. I've only got one block this side. And on this side I've got none. So it might be too sharp a turn. Yeah, it is slightly too sharp a turn. But that does hit the middle block there. Maybe that just needs to extend out a little bit more. Does feel okay as a flow though. Just maybe this needs to be extended slightly that way. Just to give me a little bit extra space going up. And that it's a little bit closer to the edge there. Because it's going to go through these gaps. And if it's not going through the gaps neatly, like almost touching the gap, which is there. If it's not touching the gap, then I've got a problem. And it's the same at this end here. I want it to kind of get to the point where it's almost touching the gap as we're going up. And the stone, I don't want to cross the cobblestone, but I do want to do it this way around. So we're kind of, we've got one block there that I could add in. And we've got another block there that I could add in. And then when we get to here, I could add another couple of blocks here to extend it out a little way. But does that then make the whole thing feel wonky because it's not stair-stepping up nice and neatly? Kind of, yeah. But if I added a few more blocks this way, it might bring it out a little bit better. Actually, I want to kind of keep on with the I'm going up here. So let's try just bringing this across a bit. And yeah, that's good. And bring this across a bit. Yeah, that's good. And here. Yeah, kind of. And then we can take some of this back instead, can't we? So we go with a 2-4 kind of thing. Oh man, I think I'm losing track of it altogether now. But it's kind of still going to make some form of sense, I hope. And then knock this bit out a little bit more. And maybe put that 4 there instead. And then trim this side off altogether. Take it back a couple of blocks this way, because this is big enough as it is. That doesn't need to be there, that doesn't need to be there. That kind of does need to be there. And then we go up to the next level. Let's see roughly how that's looking. I want it to be a kind of symmetrical, well, symmetrical, isometrical. I don't know what symmetrical it's going to be. But I do want it to look fairly standard going all the way around, so I can copy the plan, copy the design. It's just deciding on that design to start off with. But I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to play around with it. I want a staircase going all the way up, and I want it to get off at different floors as well. So I want to bring it up to the next floor up there and allow it to sort of like have a getting off point. So maybe I should work on that kind of getting off point first of all, first and foremost. Or another option is start with building these pillars up and going and having a look at Ballantyne's base and figuring out that kind of deal and get the spacing of the outside edge going up and around first and then attach a stairwell to it. Oh, yes, that's a better idea. I wish I'd saved myself the time now and done that first. But you get the idea. You're getting the plan of action. I'm going to build up and around. I'm going to build in glass, I think, as well. I think I'm going to build in glass up and around there. And see Ballantyne's base for details. Go and check out Ballantyne's channel and have a look at Ballantyne's base for details. You may get a little bit of a sneak peek about what I'm planning to do here. But that is all I've got time for this episode. I think I've run its course, and I've been waffling on about a staircase that I'll probably rip down soon after and start again. But thank you all very, very much for watching. I'm going to go and pose by the helicopter, because that was supposed to be the real topic of this episode. That was supposed to be my big build for this week, this big build over here. This awesome thing that I've designed over here. This awesome thing that I've created. Let me get a good shot of it from over here. This was supposed to be this week's episode on Wednesday. Unfortunately late, and still, well, it feels less impressive because I've not built it in stages in front of you so you can see it all going together. But hopefully you get the idea, and hopefully you like it. Leave a like. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Hypermine Vanilla, and I will see you very soon for some more. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be some news coming soon from the studio down below. Yes, with your host, Nemsun. And I did hear the other day that there may be a weather girl. Guesses down below to see who you think would make an excellent weather girl in the comment section below. And then I'll get the other girl on the server to do it instead. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.